Welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. We do finally have some exciting news for Battlefield 2042 today, as they have just actually dropped their development update on their YouTube channel, and we got a fair bit of juicy content on there. Now, apologies for the way my voice sounds. I drank way too many beers on the weekend and went to the footy and yelled way too much, and now I've pretty much lost my voice. So that, combined with the fact that it's currently 2 AM and I haven't slept, I may as well be a zombie right now, but we're going to power through. Hopefully you guys can deal with my crook sounding voice for the next 10 minutes or so. Hopefully by the time the next video goes up, I will have a normal functioning voice. But with that being said, guys, let's get stuck into it, because there is actually quite a bit of stuff to cover today. Now, like I said, they have actually just dropped a dev update on the YouTube channel, and surprisingly, it was actually very short. I thought it was going to be a bit longer, but it was only about 6 minutes. But in that 6 minutes, they did manage to cram in actually quite a lot of information. So the first thing that I wanted to touch on that they obviously put at the start of the video as well was the fact that they are finally putting the specialists into classes. So they're kind of meeting us in the middle here. They're not going to remove specialists, but they are going to finally put them into the classes. That always seemed like that was the way that it was going to go, and I'm very glad that they are finally doing that. Now, the downside is they have said that's coming during Season 3, so it's at least going to be about 3 months or more away, and that is definitely a little bit disappointing. It seems like they've been working on this stuff for long enough now that surely we could have got this in Season 2, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to complain, because we are finally getting that change that we've all wanted. And to be completely fair, and they actually mentioned this in the video, this is such a fundamental change to the game that it is probably worth taking that little bit of extra time and making sure they get this right. Because if they were to just sort of rush this out and it wasn't balanced and all that kind of thing, then obviously that would put a bit of a dampener on the rest of the content in Season 2. And so because of that, obviously, like I said, I would prefer to get this earlier, but it is probably the right decision to actually push this back and just make sure they get this right, because this is such a fundamental change to the overall game. Now, they clearly stated that this isn't, set in stone or anything like that in terms of how these are going to be laid out, but how they've got it is in the Assault class, there will be McKay, Sundance, and Dozer. The Recon class will be Jisoo, Casper, and Rao. The Support class will obviously have Falcon, Angel, and then the Engineer class will have Irish, Boris, and Lise. Now, that is definitely interesting, because we are obviously going to be getting another specialist during this season. With the Support class here only having 2, maybe that points at the potential that the next specialist could be in that Support class as well. That is obviously just speculation, so be sure to take that with a grain of salt, but obviously all of the other classes have 3 and then the Support class has 2, so that is definitely a little bit interesting. But for me personally, I think this layout is perfectly fine, and I don't think they need to toy around with it too much. With that being said, we obviously don't know the gadgets and stuff that are going to be locked to each class, so it will be interesting to see how they do that, and maybe there will need to be some changes, but at least just looking at this on paper, it does seem like this is the obvious choice for these classes. Overall though, that is definitely a solid change. That's something that I have been sort of advocating for quite a while now, and this seems to be sort of the middle ground between, obviously they can't delete the specialists, they're so closely tied to the lore of the game and all that kind of thing, so that was never going to happen. Then they are sort of meeting us in the middle there with putting these into classes too, so I do think this is kind of the best option. Obviously in the next Battlefield game, hopefully they do just go back to classes, and I'm pretty sure they will after the backlash, but for this game I do think this is definitely the best option. Now, something else they mentioned is that portal weapons are finally going to be starting to be added into All Out Warfare throughout Season 2. They've mentioned that right at the start of Season 2 we are going to be getting 2, which are the M16 and the M60 from Battlefield 3. These will be unlockable via assignments, so I'm going to assume just essentially a bunch of challenges to unlock them. And then they did also confirm that there will be more added throughout the season and, Season 3 and beyond. So it does sound a little bit underwhelming that they only really mentioned 2, but I assume we'll probably get more, maybe 4 to 6 or something like that. The fact that we're getting 2 straight away and then they've confirmed there's going to be more after that, you would think maybe with every update we get another 2 or even just another 1 or something like that. So my guess is probably 4 to 6 portal weapons into All Out Warfare per season, and then they did also confirm there will obviously be another 2 weapons as well. So if we were to get 4 portal weapons ported in and then also 2 new weapons, then in a way that is kind of 6 new weapons per season. Now, I know portal content isn't quite new, so I'm not going to try and act like this is brand new content, but I am also of the belief that in essentially every shooter ever, the weapons that get added, they are all in previous games. Like the M16, that's in like every Battlefield ever, for example. So yeah, it's not new content, but it is also going to be a brand new weapon that we can use in All Out Warfare. For me personally, I don't care that they're old, they are going to feel like a brand new weapon to me. So I'm very happy with this change, and I hope that they do really pump these out, because obviously there's like 70 portal weapons. They could genuinely just pump these out and give us like 8 per season or something like that, and that would be really good to see. Now, I'm not going to get my hopes up for that, but the fact that they are finally adding these is definitely a positive. Now, The next thing they mentioned was that obviously we are already getting the renewal rework for this season, but something else they confirmed is we are also getting the orbital rework, and they have actually confirmed that the renewal update will be coming in September, so essentially with the launch of season 1, I'd assume, season 2, sorry. But then in October, so just 1 month later, we are also getting the orbital rework as well. So it does seem like they've kind of ramped up the pace of that, and I will say that the orbital rework looks genuinely really good, and I actually think that that is the best map in the game other than obviously exposure, and that it doesn't actually need too much work. So I think the changes they're going to make to that map will actually make it into a genuinely good map, not just a good map by this game standards. It already feels like a decent map, and the rework looked absolutely awesome. So very happy with that. I think renewal looks a lot better too, but I do think that map is just fundamentally not a good map anyway, and so kind of like Kaleidoscope, I think it will improve it, but I don't think it's going to be that good of a map. But yeah, I'm not really fussed about that either. I'm not expecting these to make the maps amazing. So definitely some positive news there that I don't think any of us really expected. I wasn't expecting to get 2 reworks this season, but they did confirm that's happening, and the orbital one looks really good. So very keen to get that into the game. Now they finally did also confirm the next map. I'm not actually sure they did officially confirm the name of it, but we did get a quick look at it throughout this little showcase. There was a really good overview which I'll show on screen, and that kind of shows the whole map, and then there were a few little gameplay snippets as well. Now they confirmed this is an infantry based smaller type of map. It's going to be very intense, and obviously just the general scale of the map is going to be a lot smaller. So for me, this is an absolute W for the game, because that is exactly what I wanted, a really close quarters like infantry based map, and this seems to be that. It also looks really nice from the little overview that they showed at the end, and obviously we can't really tell if it's going to be good until we play it, so I'm not going to really go too much more into that. But I think just the fact that it is infantry focused is going to be a very big positive for the game, because most of the other maps in the game, they do feel a little bit more focused on the vehicle gameplay, and I think the reason that I really enjoy exposure is because that does have those close quarters areas. So if they can make this whole map to be a little bit more of those, you know, close quarters infantry focused areas, I do think it should be a fairly decent map. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see until we actually get our hands on the map. Now, as I'm recording this, there has actually just been a little bit of extra information that has come out that I thought I may as well tidy up before I actually edit the video. One, the renewal rework isn't actually coming at the start of season 2. It's going to be an update 2.1, so essentially the second update for the season, and then the orbital rework assumingly will be in the third update. So we'll get season 2 launching, and we'll get the brand new map. Then the next update will have the renewal rework, and then the orbital rework will be in the final update for the season. Essentially 1 new map per update. Obviously they're not new maps, so I have to tread carefully with how I've heard that, but each update will have a either brand new map or an updated map, so that is definitely a positive. And then they have actually also confirmed the 3 other weapons that we're going to be getting in the season in terms of the portal weapons, and that is the P90, the AKS-74U, and the M98B. So that is obviously 2 different SMGs, and then the M98B is the sniper rifle, I believe, from Bad Company 2. So definitely happy with all of those weapons, and that means we're going to be getting 5 new weapons plus 1 sidearm, and they're all from Portal. And then obviously we'll be getting 2 brand new weapons as well. So technically 8 new weapons in this season. Like I said, I know some people will say that the Portal weapons aren't new, and that is a fair enough call, but for me personally, a new weapon's a new weapon. I haven't been able to use it in All Out Warfare, and now I'm going to be able to. Well, I consider that a new weapon anyway. So that was pretty much it for all of today's news. They have actually mentioned that in the next week or 2, they're going to be sort of promoting season 2. So we'll obviously get a better look at the new map. I'm sure we'll get announced the new specialists and all those sorts of things, the new weapons, maybe some stuff in the new battle pass and all that kind of thing. So this isn't kind of all the news for season 2. There's a bit more to come, but this is more just to do with essentially just the next few months in terms of like the broader look at what we're going to be getting. So I'm definitely keen to hear what you guys have to say. I've been on Twitter just quickly, and as always with Battlefield, the reaction is definitely very mixed. Some people are very happy, some people are very angry that we're not getting 10 maps this season. That is just typically how the internet goes, so I'm definitely keen to hear what you guys have to say. For me personally, I'm overall pretty happy with this. It's not like mind-blowing, it's not the biggest announcement that I've ever seen or anything like that, but we're getting more content than we got in season 1. The map looks pretty cool. The fact we're finally getting portal weapons and stuff like that is a big positive, and then obviously it won't be coming this season, but the season after we're getting those specialists put into classes too. And so yeah, I personally think all of this stuff is definitely a positive for the game. It's definitely all still a little bit slow, and there's not as much content as there probably should be considering when you look at past titles, for example, but I do think all of this is improving the game, and at the end of the day, with the way that this game launched, that is really all we can ask for. So I'm pretty happy overall. Like I said, not blown away, but I think all of this stuff was a positive. But like I said, I'm keen to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. That is going to do it for this one though, guys. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. If you're new to the channel, then definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you want to support the content that I make here on YouTube, then consider becoming a channel member. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.